Hi, I'm Janosch, and with my Product Design Masterthesis, Wild Bee Network, Biodiversity Despite Conventional Agriculture, I want to provide an approach how we can improve the agricultural structure towards more biodiversity without compromising farmers' profit. Because wild bees are a good indicator of biodiversity, I use them as example for my work. Wild bees make up 99.9% of the bee species in Germany, and half of them are endangered. Paradoxically, they are very important for agriculture, but at the same time agriculture is their biggest enemy. 1/3 of the world's food is based on pollination. 86% of crops are pollinated more effectively by wild bees than by honeybees. So, wild bees are the best pollinator for 28% of the world's food. But the insect die-off goes rapidly fast, and they need immediate help. Monocultures, pesticides, herbicides, and way too large field units are making a natural infrastructure for bees nearly impossible. But wild bees need a suitable breeding place and a rich source of food really nearby. So, if you want to generate infrastructure for bees, either you use human structures or you create something particularly new for animals. I decided to have a closer look on power poles, because if the energy turn causes more power poles, why not include them in the concept of environmental protection? And as you see here on the map, we have 160,000 poles on German agricultural land in regular distances to each other. So what I wanted to do is using the ground underneath as breeding place and equip the pole with a vertical greening of flowering plants as a source of food. But to go further with this idea, I needed to clarify the basic conditions with a power pole company. Together with the German power line operator 50 Hertz, I worked out some rules how pole greening could become possible. So, for security reasons, a certain height of planting cannot be exceeded. And in case of emergency, always 2 technicians have to be able to access the top of the pole. The integrity of the foundation must always be guaranteed, and every 10 to 15 years, every addition to the pole needs to be taken down to paint the steel. The height problem can be solved by the size of the grid, which is combined from existing parts of the pole and added wire ropes. The principle also works sideways, so just 2 of the 4 surfaces are equipped with a greening system that ensures always a safe climb up on the ladder. To protect the foundation, the choice of the plants is decisive. Most of the climbing plants do not root deeper than 1 meter anyway. To prevent corrosion, the whole system has to be detachable for painting the pole. But even if you want to attach something, it's already difficult because the L profiles are turned inwards and outwards. This is why I came up with a 2-sided metal clip, which is able to guide the wire ropes without harming the steel. At first the clip gets placed around the L profile, afterwards the wire rope gets adjusted in the right angle. But even if we green all power poles, we still have a lot of gigantic fields which are an insurmountable barrier for insects. Wild bees need small structures to survive. Unfortunately, a lot of agricultural ground belongs to large holding companies, which are not interested in any kind of changes. So even if a farmer wants to change his field structure, often he's not allowed to. That's why we need a temporary solution, which is deconstructible after 5 years. A solution which connects all agriculture areas where we don't have power poles. This is the concept of a temporary hedge, consisting of special breeding aids and vertical greening. So what you get here is also a really close distance between breeding place and source of food. To build the hill, you just need some extra compost soil, and to build the breeding aid bricks, I combined clay with hemp, clay as base to breed and hemp as a light reinforcement. Both are sustainable raw materials. I did some testing to figure out the right ratio and implemented an irregular pre-made breeding hole pattern for a better orientation of the bees. In combination with a flowering strip and in direction to another small structure, it would be especially effective. But to make biodiversity a real part of agriculture, it has to be profitable for the farmers. For now, a lot of farmers are frightened of biodiversity work in their business because they fear financial disadvantages, a lot of bureaucracy, and a lot of more work in total. Therefore, I think an institution would be necessary which provides a holistic service concept that allows biodiversity work in a profitable way. The institution could lead the farmers through the whole process of getting there, from the first interest to the realization on the agricultural land. Different tasks could be calculation, economic efficiency, certification, subsidization, and support of running projects on the agricultural land. Well, green poles, or how I call them, flower towers, temporary hedges, flowering strips, and existing small structures build an infrastructure that allows bees to live, to reproduce, and to move without limitations. In combination with the service institution as intersection between all the other stakeholders, it results in the wild bee network. So of course, I couldn't work out every detail of the entire concept, and that's why I'm especially happy that I could pass on my work to a group of students and experts of Hochschule für nachhaltige Entwicklung in Eberswalde. They're currently further develop the economical but also the biological aspects and looking forward to a research project. It's still in our hands, and it's also our duty to preserve and promote biodiversity.